Hey guys, today I'm going to be playing some PvP on one of my Marauders. This Marauder doesn't have complete min-max gear for PvP, but I'm going to be doing some Annihilation, which is usually my second spec that I go to. I usually play Carnage more so, but I'm going to be playing some Annihilation to display the rotation I kind of use for that. It's very situational and priority based when you're playing in PvP. But hopefully that'll give you guys a good idea for those wanting to start out with Marauder and see the Annihilation spec, because you'll see over here on the top left corner the abilities should be coming out for you guys to see what I'm doing. And one thing that's pretty big in the PvP sense of Annihilation is using Smash to spread your dots, kind of if you've played Sork or Hatred Assassin, kind of like Creeping Terror or what's it called? Lacerate. Or not Creeping Terror. Deathfield and Lacerate for spreading dots. And that's pretty big. As long as you have a target with dots on it and you hit another target with your Smash and that target, then it'll spread. And that's pretty useful. But it's also the main hitting abilities like Annihilate, Off CD, Deadly Saber to get the dots from 3 successful melee attacks, proc Dual Saber, Battering Assault, stuff like that to get your rage back up. So try and show that off here. Although, where's my team at? Good grief. Didn't even use Predation that time. And I'll go over some of my gear stats and what I spec into for utilities after this. Although the gear, I've changed gear around a lot for different characters, trying to see what I like better. Not completely sure about that yet. We'll just play it out and see how it goes. One of the big things you'll see while I'm playing here is I use Predation off cooldown, or when I need it situationally. Especially in Hutball, it's a pretty big thing that's needed. Get some heals. Nope. Okay. But it's something you can spec into, and it's really important for Marauders. And it helps your team out a lot, especially in PvP. It's a major thing to have the Predation utility. So I'm not as much playing in this match for DPS. I'm trying. It looks like my team's struggling a little bit to move the ball around. Marauders can be very good in Hutball. They used to be very dominant with some of their abilities until Operatives got roles. So I'm going to try and do some DPS on the targets that have the ball, but for the most part try and move the ball around for my team, because it doesn't seem to be going well. Got 1 point up on all that group there, so that my assassin can escape. Hopefully he gets across. I'm stunned so I can't get Predation. Up, jump straight into the fire. That's my bad. I might switch back to my other Marauder. Yes, I do have to. After this, if I get some wins trying to finish the daily on this character. I played on the other one earlier. Or I can even play Sentinel if there are people that want to see the Sentinel side of it later on. I know there's not as many Republic players in the game anymore, especially for a PvP sense, but I like to do both. glitch. Try and take out this sniper real quick. There we go. One of the main reasons you really want to keep dots up on targets is the possibility for heals, and I believe Berserk enhances that chance. But especially if you don't have a healer on you, most of the time it's very helpful, but it still won't survive major burst, which is what I'm worried about there. So I bailed out to get the health. Looks like that assassin's hunting me down right now. Mistakes that you made in the past, cutting through you like they're glass. There are no words that can paint belonging in your face. I just want to hold you, keep you in my world. And you usually want to apply Rupture first, and then Rend, in my opinion, for your 2 dots, because Rend will build rage, where Rupture does not. It takes rage away. I'm correct on that, I'm pretty sure I am. And that'll just, for rage management purposes, that'll be pretty big if you don't have Battering Assault up. Oh, my medpack didn't go off. One of the reasons I like the Marauder class is that it's always been very good for objectives in the early stages of the game, at least, and just the style of combat. It is one of the heaviest melee classes, like depending on staying on a target, with everybody being able to have jumps and roots and stuff. Now it's kind of annoying. Positioning is very important. Honestly, I'm not that great with my positioning a lot of the time, because I just kind of, when you play Marauder, you kind of get into like a bloodlust. It's like a shark when it smells blood in the water, it just kind of goes a lot of the time. So you'll see me just make stupid mistakes a lot of the time. Feel free to call me out on it, but I'm still just playing for fun. Waiting to see if arenas come out and get into that. Annihilation's pretty good for arena, just depending on the comps. I've seen a lot of people running Smash. I need to experiment with Smash more since the changes. I usually play Carnage. Carnage, if you're good and know what you're doing, and get used to the spec a lot, you can do really well with it. Oh, damn, you got me. But Annihilation does offer some sustain and damage output if you can't stay on targets as much, to get dots down and keep that DPS up while you're moving around trying to get heals out of it too. But Carnage Burst is, if you can get it off, it is insane. It's nice damage, just to be able to blow up a target if you're doing hard swaps or anything like that. But then with Smash, the CC immunity is just huge for that spec. It's something pretty unique, and a lot of people enjoy solo queue for that reason with Smash, because it's just so nice to have that CC immunity when you'll see all these classes what they're going to try and do to slow you down. Alright, he buried. So right now I'm just going to get on the ball carrier, because if I can prevent them from scoring, we don't really need to score more unless we really have the opportunity. Just keeping them from scoring is pretty big, but they have an operative with guard, so that's going to be really difficult unless he makes a mistake or gets pushed around. There we go, that's a nice knockback. That's one thing I hate about Marauders, is that they don't have any sort of knockback. I mean, as a melee class I really feel like they should have that, but that's just me, I guess. I'm very biased in that sense. Oh, he threw off one of us. Alright, so that's great. As long as this guy doesn't die right here, I'm going to try and awe and give him a chance, but where the hell did he throw that? Threw it away. Okay, that's fine. That's actually better. He was trying to throw it to a teammate, but throwing it away is even better. because they were all here. You'll see there I used my Mad Dash, which is the new skill for the Marauder. I spec into the Mad Dash breaking stuns or roots or immobilization. Well, not stuns, I guess just immobilizations. Oh, did not on Dying Rage. Because especially in arenas, I think it's more useful. You'll see a lot of people take brooding. That's alright in certain circumstances. I think it's better in PvE, honestly. The Mad Dash utility to reflect damage and also have that root break to stay on a target with how far it goes if you can use geometry really well to help you out, and stay on your target is really helpful in arenas when there's a burst period and you really need to stay on somebody. I swear I choked that guy. But like the lead bug and other things, it sometimes screws up and does not take me where I want to go, which is just unfortunate. I can't push that guy. Oh, there he is. Alright. Just gonna have some fun here. See if I can do some damage to him before he gets on me. Oh my gosh, that slow is brutal. He's probably gonna kill me here. I don't have heals. Oh, somebody stunned him. Got him! Alright. That's not good vision. Alright, so I'm just gonna hide back here for a minute and try and heal up. Sometimes you have to do that as Marauder. It takes a long time to get out of combat, but sometimes you gotta let your pride take a fall and just go heal up, not get the DPS out, stay in the game. Although I've had a lot of times where the time it takes to get out of combat, I could have spawned and come back out already. So one of the abilities you might have seen that I just used is Obfuscate. It's a pretty big ability for the Marauder. Down here, it reduces the target's vision, melee, and range accuracy by 90% for 6 seconds. So like snipers or even Marauder bursts is pretty crazy to block all that damage. So usually I'll throw it on a sniper in an arena, and then if I'm running, oh, should have used Mad Dash there. If I'm using Carnage really rips up snipers sometimes if you can stay on them. And using Obfuscate on cooldown versus them is pretty effective. They really hate it. It's not good against Sorks or like operatives really, although you'll see me sometimes use it by accident on them and I kind of curse myself afterwards for it, but it's just kind of part of the rotation usage. If I see something up that I have, I just kind of use it, which isn't the best way to approach it, but oh my gosh. Oh, somebody knocked. Oh, they knocked me in. No. Fuck. Knowing when to camo too on a Marauder is really important. A lot of people want to spec into like the camo resist as well instead of the Mad Dash, and I think that's kind of a waste because you're having to use one of your most important abilities for root break instead of for situational stuff when you need to break aggro and get away. And I just feel like you might as well have them separate and have just like almost be able to have two abilities to do things like that. Alright, so let's look at the damage. Alright, I was still most of my team even though I wasn't really playing for damage straight up. I was still doing a lot of it, but towards the end I stopped playing as objectively. 1200 is pretty shitty, to be honest. Sorks are still god tier, so that's almost 1800. That's still not great for them, but they're still gonna outdamage everything. And I got some objective points, so that's alright. give it to this guy for running the ball. So if you haven't already noticed, I'm kind of a fan of electronic music and enjoy listening to that stuff, but if you don't like that, let me know. I listen to a lot of different types of music. It's just what I mainly listen to. I think it kind of goes well with play style too. Keeps you kind of upbeat, feeling like you're hitting everything like you would if you were working out or running. It's a shitty comparison. Alright, so here's for utilities for those who care to see it. For skillful, these are pretty basic. I take these for any spec that I run for the most part. Brazen is a must for the Marauder. It's just absolutely a must. Increases your damage production by 2%, and you build 2 Fury when attacked. This Fury building effect cannot occur more than once every 1.5 seconds. Next up is Overwhelm. That is the Ravage immobilizes the target for the duration of the ability. So that's down here. So that's pretty big just for staying on a target too. If you can anticipate when somebody's going to use an ability and counter it with the Ravage immobilization, that's pretty huge. Although a lot of the time you'll see that you're not getting that full Ravage, and you want to keep Ravage going through the whole time because the last tick of Ravage, the last hit, is the biggest one. So if you can, unless you have to switch to another target or get off your target or chase them down, yeah, always go to the third tick. The dumb thing they did though is they put a dot with Ravage, so it's kind of dumb, because if you want to do like a hard swap and you just use your Ravage on a target or something, you're switching, the dot will break CC, which is, I don't know why they did that. And then Inexorable. You generate 4 rage while stunned, immobilized, put to sleep, or knocked around, which happens a lot to the Marauder for people trying to get you off of them. Additionally, the cooldown of Unleash is reduced by 30 seconds. Unleash is your CC breaker, purges incapacitating and movement impairing effects. That's pretty big. 30-second cooldown, or 30-second reduction on cooldown for that, from 2 minutes to 1 minute 30 seconds is pretty big. Alright, mass level tier. This is what I was talking about. I'll take that in a second. This is what I was talking about with the predation. So Relentless is one that I take no matter what, and its predation no longer requires or consumes Fury, but will go on cooldown for 30 seconds when activated. So you can activate that just immediately. I could do it right now without any Fury or anything, and that allows me to use Frenzy just for Berserk or for Bloodthirst if I need it. And that's really big, just being able to dedicate that towards that, or when you get 30 seconds, just use it for Berserk, because Predation by itself is a massive utility that helps you and your team a lot. And when I'm using Carnage, I usually go Phantom for the movement speed addition and camouflage, bonus camouflage, but then I also do Interceptor for Annihilation, just for the slow, at least in regs, for Force Rend and Charge and stuff like that, for the slow on targets. Ooh, Ancient High Brigade differs from Hub Ball. I've gotten like 6 Hub Balls today so far. Okay, got 40 seconds, cool. Did I pick up a mission? Is that just the Starfighter thing? Oh, wow. That's the basic mission. Whoops. Alright, I don't really need that stuff. Alright, so for really quick, so that's the reduction of movement speed. I like that for Force Rend when I'm throwing it on to try and stay on a target. Heroic, Unbound is huge. When Predation is applied or refreshed, it purges movement and impairing effects. That is like different from the camo thing or Mad Dash. If I have either Predation or Mad Dash up, I can break roots, and that's pretty big. And it increases the speed bonus by 30%, which is nice. And then the Mad Dash over the Expunging Camouflage, because cleansable effects isn't really as big of a thing. Mad Dash for immobilized, when you're immobilized, and it resists stuff, is pretty big. I'll go over my gear after this too. So I'm gonna throw on Obfuscate on that Marauder because I use ring before Rupture, that was not good. But just because if I can block like his Ravage on a target or something, if I know he's going to Ravage, that's a huge block to damage. Or Annihilate or something like that if he's Annihilation. Just being able to block that single target damage is pretty crazy. Kill that guy real quick. There we go. Also, it's sometimes worth it. I didn't do it there because I'm not like in trouble, but if you're in a 1v1 against like the mirror class for the Marauder and you see somebody Ravage, you can use Camouflage to break their target, or you can use Mad Dash to get away, or Predation. And if you're breaking the Ravage route and they can't get that last tick off, that kills a lot of their DPS, and it's pretty entertaining to watch them get pissed off about it, because I know exactly how I'd feel having that happen, because it happens to me a lot. So I'm going to use Mad Dash here to get onto my target, get in range. That guy slowed him. Oh, see, I broke there. I shouldn't have. I thought I could get the damage off before he CC'd, but that's okay. The trigger one I mainly stay on though. Target did Rin before Rupture again. You're gonna want to stay on Sages, squishy targets. Usually have the most effect. But it's also, like I said, positioning based. So if you've got a closer target to you, where you're not going to take as much damage, that's pretty important too. Chasing down targets though, like to finish them off, because especially if you have like sort classes that are just doing dot damage, they're not really trying to hard focus a target down. I mean, Annihilation kind of doesn't always hard focus as much as like what Carnage would do, but you have the utilities to be the finisher and go take down targets, and you should do that. So I'm just going to camo here to make sure that nobody's looking at me for root at the end of Ancient Hypergate, and then I'm going to Mad Dash inside. Try and root some of them out there. They'll probably break it though. Alright, that guy's gonna die from dots, so now I'm going to switch over to the Sentinel. There we go. Oh, there he is. You honestly probably haven't seen me using Smash as much as I could be. It just gets complicated sometimes when you're trying to get abilities off to get targets right beside each other where you can spread those dots, and sometimes it lags and you don't actually get them off, which is just really annoying. But try and do that at least some of the time. But I'm still prioritizing using things like Ravaging Massacre. Occasional Vicious Slash. I think I caught both of them there. Not sure. He died anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The dots weren't going to take that long. But you just got to get a feel. Because in this game sometimes like those AoE abilities don't strictly show you what area you're actually affecting. You just kind of have to feel it out and see how the smash is going off. It's about the same, I believe, as your AW, your AoE CC, the Marauder. I guess it's not. It's called Intimidating Roar. I think it's AW for Republic. So if you notice there, that Sentinel, I doubt he planned it. He just had good timing. I used my Vicious Throw right as he Mad Dashed, and he resisted the damage. So I lost a big hit there, which is pretty annoying for me, but it's really good for him. That shows the utility of that ability. He's probably using it more for Root Break if he was spec'd into that. so he's gonna push me there, so I'm gonna camo, and he's not gonna know where I am for a minute. I'm gonna CC him, and he broke. But he's been slowed and killed, so he's not making it in. We have a pretty solid lead right now, so I'm not too worried about the objective as much. But it's still, if you're up like this on Agent Hypergate, you can just go out and prevent them from getting to their own node. Alright, so I'm gonna use Annihilation here to get on my target, and then I'm gonna Ravage, make sure he can't get away. He's gonna barrier though. It's expected. And there's the Ren slow, kind of helps get on a target. Go back on the Sage, choke him. And he eats the Ravage. We're just dominating the team though, so like you'll see I'll have much more difficult games when everybody's kind of split out and nobody's on targets and you're not burning them nearly as quickly just because they can get off a lot more defensives than what they can with this kind of targeting. Looks like that guy already gave up. Sucks to be on the other team in a game like this. It's just not even enjoyable. So we're kind of spawn camping them here. So he's running. Okay, deal with this guy first. Up, he's coming back. All right. So this is gonna be a little difficult because I don't have anybody to help me here. Oh, I've got 3 now. All right. So what I'm just going to try and do, I know I'm going to die here, so I'm going to try and spread dots before I die and see if it'll stick. I don't know if I got him off though. Doesn't look like it, that sucks. Alright. We'll win right here though, so it's no big deal. Oh look, he laughed at me, that's nice. 3v1 after getting destroyed, that's fine, they can laugh at me. My laugh back at them is that double cap win. But yeah, that would have been a hard fight to win. Yep, so there's the Sork damage, he's doing 3k, it's expected. But I'm not too far behind, I'm about 1000 DPS down, I could still do better than that. But about 2100, right underneath that Merc. Let's see who took more damage. I took 300k, he took less than me. He took a little bit more because he's Sork, but it's just kind of the nature of it. My heals weren't even that high either, but if you're looking at total damage charts, even though we were killing them and they were dying really quick before dots could even have an effect, did a good amount of damage. Alright, so if we look at my gear real quick, we'll do that, queue up. So on this character at least, I have mostly everything's kind of min-maxed except for this saber. It's not exemplar yet. You can see by the mods, the hilt's 145 versus the 152. But yeah, for like earpiece, you're gonna have crit power, like the adept for both the earpiece and implants. And I'm using, for this character at least, I'm testing out all power. Some people do that, some people do alacrity, especially for Annihilation, to get stuff off faster. I'm not exactly sure what's the best. Tried to look up some stuff on it, but I don't know. I haven't cared as much. So all these things have power. You got your set bonus from having a full gear set, which is pretty important for your Ravage, Dual Saber Throw, to get extra damage and stuff. And Battering Assault, I need to focus on this more. Battering Assault, when you use it on a target, don't switch to another target because it's increasing. Well, I guess it just increases damage dealt to anybody. I thought it increased it just on the target that you use it on. But yeah, that's a pretty important part of the set bonus. Using Battering Assault and then making use of having that rage up and a burst window to have more damage with that percentage added on. Yeah, they also didn't used to have that proccing system in the game where it showed you when something procced. You just had to notice it on your bar, which took a little bit more skill to notice. But whenever you see something like up procced, like the Dual Saber Throw or the Vicious Slash, it's probably a good chance that you should just use it then or soon before the proc runs out, because it's going to do more damage if you can fit it in your rotation. Alright, so yeah, back to this. You got your Adept packages. Then for relics, you're going to run Serendipitous Assault, which is the power relic, and Focus Retribution, which is the mastery relic. So you're going to want both of those. All this other stuff is like the Weapon Master's gear set for the most part, but you just change out some of the mods and enhancements to have crit power instead of accuracy. I'm only running at 101% accuracy. Some people say 105. I think 101 will do you fine. You can let me know what you think though, for anybody else who is a Marauder player. Why don't I have rage up? That's weird. Must be missing something. Okay, I am lagging. Wow, that was bad. Wow. Something else right now. Alright, so Void Star is huge for dot spread. If you play Sork or Assassin, you use dots. You already know that because people group up. Novair is usually pretty good for it too when everybody's on the node. But it's just like really easy sometimes with certain groups. They just naturally kind of clump up and you can hit all your stuff. It's amazing. And sometimes what I'll do too, if I'm moving around trying to get dots out, I will put one dot on one target and one on the other if I know they're going to be next to each other, and then it makes it really easy to spread that dot because they're not going to be moving too far, and then they're spreading to each other. At least I think that's how it works, I'm pretty sure. Because as long as you hit a target with a dot on it, it'll spread it. You usually want to smash when you have both dots up if you can, because that'll just obviously do more damage. But if you know your target's going to get away and you only have one dot on them, you can do that too if you have like a prime time to do it like 5 people around or something, because that'll just be more effective than only hitting 2 people with 2 dots versus 5 people with 1. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Also want to make sure not to move while casting Ravage because it'll break your Ravage cast, which is something I kind of disagree with. I feel like with a lot of the other classes that have abilities, they're able to, especially Sorks, being able to cast abilities, huge hitting abilities on the move. I think the Marauder out of anybody should need that. But that'd probably make us OP again like the Smash days, and then we'd have everybody bitching, so can't have that. Also, I'm pretty sure Rupture will break a door cast because it's a melee ability that applies dot damage, but your Forceman wouldn't, I don't think, because dots don't break the channel for like a door or something like that. So you just, if you have like the chance, and let's say all your other abilities are down, which that will never happen, but if you had to do that really quickly, or if you just wanted to apply a dot that way, you can do that, and I think it'll break the channel. Alright, so look out how clumped up all these guys are. I'm gonna try and get a Force Wind up. Oh, see, he died. Alright, so there's a good example. I had Force Wind coming out, and I wanted to get it out because I was being greedy, trying to get it out for the double dot spread, but my target died from all the damage before that actually even I could do that. And that way I'm not gonna get the dot spread I wanted because he's already fucking dead. It's not gonna work. So this guy has both on him, but now he's separated from everybody, and there's no Marauder push or anything like that to get targets together. So I can spread it to this guy over here, and now you'll see on his a bar down at the bottom right, he has the dots on him, but he's not gonna have it for long. So I'll just put it back on, spread it again, and there you go. That's what you want to do sometimes. It'll increase your DPS. Don't make it your priority all the time though, because you still want to hit your hard hitting abilities to burn people down, because dots aren't always just going to kill people unless it's like insane amount of dots on your team. So if you actually want to be effective at like winning games, it depends if you want to DPS or try and actually win the game. Some of my abilities probably look like they're, well, maybe not because you guys are just watching, but to me they look like they're lagging because I play from the East Coast. I get a little bit more server lag playing on the West Coast server in the US, but it's just something. I grew up playing on the server with all my characters, like I just kind of got used to it and I don't want to leave. It's the healthiest server too, so that helps, but get a little bit more lag playing. So see, that Marauder came flying in, or Sentinel I guess, with Mad Dash right as I smashed, and it showed a resist text block right there because he was coming in as his Mad Dash was finishing. I hit the smash, so he didn't get dot spread because he was resisting all of it. So it's kind of lame for me, but awesome for him. There's a lot of different ways you can use Mad Dash and resist stuff that you probably don't even know, but the biggest thing is like resisting a sniper ambush or a ravage or something like that, or a force leech. You can resist those things if you know your target or another target is casting on you right as you are about to use the ability. You can time it. So I just don't want to get focused down there, so I'm going to reposition to the front line of my team by using Mad Dash. Just make life hell for this Jug. Choke him and the dots will kill him. Just pred, and I'm back in on their front line. And Mercs are a lovely target for Ravage. The guy just dies. As long as they don't use Electronet on me, I am happy. Because one thing I hate most is having Electronet on me. Electronet like kills a lot of the abilities I can use, and I hate it so much. Alright, so that was the first round. That went pretty well. We defended really well, and I'm pretty sure I got a good amount of damage out that round. We'll see how good this team is at capping doors versus defending them, but usually when you've held the whole time, you're going to win. Alright, so we'll stick to this left side. So see, I missed using Obfuscate on the Sentinel that just casted a full Master Strike on me. And now I'm taking a lot of damage, so I have to pop defensive stuff. So I'm going to try and wait to get Rend off on this target, and then hopefully spread at least to that stage. If I had waited a second longer, I could have gotten that Jug too, but you take what you can get. So I'll just manually apply Rupture to him, force Rend to max out my Rage, go on the squishy target, healing in the back. Get the door, that's a priority. And then you also have this thing called Crippling Slash, which is, I believe, creates 20% reduction in healing received. So when they're trying to self-heal themselves, that's pretty big because you can kind of nerf that, and anything that you can do to do that is really important. Alright, so I think I got a full dot spread over there, so I'm going to switch to this target for a minute. Make sure this Sentinel isn't causing too much trouble for my team. I got the proc for Vicious Slash, go with that. And then Berserk just came up, so I'm going to pop that, go back on the squishy target. He's dead already, didn't matter. There goes the Jug, or Guardian, sorry. Alright, so that's going to be the game. We got right and left side that can hold up with the DPS. So in this last bit of time, what I'm going to try and do is get dots out, and then smash. And get dots on both those guys, ticking for those last few seconds. My interrupts are way off today, gosh. Alright. So, as you see, Sork's doing their Sork thing, especially on a map like this with all of them clumped up, does 4,200, almost 4,300 DPS. But second on the leaderboards is me with 3,000, and that's pretty good. I can be happy with that. Screenshot it just because I like screenshotting in case it's a record. Don't think it is by any means. But yeah, I still got like almost 300k heals. Got 52 kills, 7 killing blows. I didn't take that much damage either, which was nice. They weren't putting out that much, to be honest, but a good bit ahead of the other members of my team. 1.8 mil. So that's just what you can do with the Marauder Annihilation spec if you're playing it in a good situation. Like, it's not always gonna crush people. No spec's gonna do that unless you're just really good at the class and know what to do in every situation. But setups like that make it easy. Certain setups where the other team has a lot of healers and they're all stacked on each other, you can just damage farm and you know you're probably not going to kill them. So if you really just want to output your dots, you just do that and win pretty easily. You don't win, but I mean, I guess you have a personal win usually because you'll just put out so many dots, get a lot of number farm. So I'll run through one more time real quick and show my gear and the augments. Sorry, give you guys an idea of what each piece is. I'll go through them, just like pause on each one, and if you're watching the video, you can go back later on YouTube, just pause it or whatever, and look more in depth at each piece. And I'm by no means saying this is what you should, like, the best thing to build, but I still have success on it. There's better ways. People that theorycraft find better ways for everything. But this is what I'm doing for my character currently, or at least for this character. Sometimes you mix in a little bit more crit or alacrity augments with the power, but for the most part, power is never a bad thing. That would be a little bit different for a min-max saber. It'd be about the same as this one with the Hilton enhancements. So that's the gear, stats over here. These are my melee stats currently. That's with all buffs and a stim applied, as well as every datacron in the game except for the fleet datacron. So that's going to add to your stats too. It's pretty important. If you haven't gotten it, you should. It takes a good amount of time to do all of them, but it's worth it for all your classes, especially now since it's not just single character base, it's legacy wide. That's huge. This is my force stuff, force stats. So crit multiplier, stuff like that. And then your PvP damage boost from expertise if you're at 2018, which is max. So that's what you're looking at there. Defense, if you really want to see it, same thing over there. So yeah, that's the main stuff you're gonna want to see stat wise, I guess, right there. But thanks for tuning in. If you've been watching for Annihilation PvP, if you have any requests for different specs or you want to see different stuff or certain situations or something, let me know. I can try and do stuff like that. I enjoy trying to make some videos for the community and try and help people learn classes because I know how much help I get. I'm not like a complete expert, but I've played the class for a long time, so I'm pretty comfortable playing on it in most cases and have fun with it. Alright, thanks. See you next time.